This is Plant-Based Briefing, all about magnesium, health benefits, risks, and magnesium-rich foods you should know about, Part 2 by Ocean Robbins at foodrevolution.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. This is the Plant-Based Podcast where I narrate a variety of articles with permission on plant-based and vegan living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. This is a longer one, so it's broken into 3 parts. I read Part 1 yesterday, so go back and listen to that first. We'll hear Part 2 today, and we'll hear the 3rd part the next day. I became interested in magnesium a couple of years ago when I heard a bunch of whole food plant-based speakers talking about health benefits of that way of living. And I think it was Ocean Robbins who said he takes magnesium before bed to alleviate the leg cramps that can wake you up in the middle of the night. And in the summer especially, I have cramping that happens. I teach and play a lot of pickleball in this hot North Carolina humid climate, and find that my cramping increases this time of year, especially when I've played pickleball for several hours, sweating profusely, and I assume losing some of the magnesium and other minerals that I'm consuming with my diet. But taking magnesium before bed really does seem to help. Don't know if it's placebo or what, but it's interesting to learn more about magnesium. This is a very thorough article. So now let's hear some more, and let's get into today's plant-based briefing. All about magnesium, health benefits, risks, and magnesium-rich foods you should know about, Part 2 by Ocean Robbins at foodrevolution.org. How much magnesium do you need? While a balanced diet that regularly includes magnesium-rich foods should meet your needs, most people in America don't consume enough. Why? The modern industrialized diet, also known as the Standard American Diet, aptly acronymed as SAD, is high in processed, packaged foods, and it tends to lack good plant-based sources of magnesium. So how much magnesium should you get? The recommended dietary allowances, or RDA, for magnesium are as follows. Age 0 to 6 months, 30 milligrams, 7 to 12 months, 75 milligrams, 1 to 3 years, 80 milligrams, 4 to 8 years, 130, 9 to 13 years, 240, boys 14 to 18 years, 410 milligrams, girls 14 to 18 years, 360 milligrams, men 19 plus years, 400 to 420 milligrams, women 19 plus years, 310 to 320 milligrams, pregnant teens 400 milligrams, pregnant women 350 to 360 milligrams, breastfeeding teens 360 milligrams, and breastfeeding women 310 to 320 milligrams of magnesium. Magnesium deficiency, muscle spasms and cramps, mental disorders, arrhythmia, fatigue, muscle weakness, high blood pressure, and more. Scientific literature suggests that subclinical magnesium deficiency is rampant, and that it's actually one of the leading causes of chronic disease, including cardiovascular disease and early mortality around the globe. Subclinical magnesium deficiency indicates that your blood magnesium levels appear normal, but you still have an underlying mineral deficiency. A USDA survey called What We Eat in America found that men take in under 350 milligrams of magnesium per day when they should be getting 300 to 420 milligrams, while women average 260 milligrams when at least 310 would be optimal. Surveys show that men over the age of 70 and teenage girls tend to have the lowest magnesium consumption. On the other hand, combining dietary and supplemental magnesium typically exceeds minimum requirements. Normal blood magnesium levels are between 0.75 and 0.95 millimoles per liter, which means magnesium deficiency occurs at levels under 0.75 millimoles per liter. Remember that less than 1% of your total body magnesium is in your blood, so when these levels are low, it could indicate that you have a more widespread deficiency. What causes magnesium deficiency? In addition to inadequate consumption of magnesium from food, low magnesium levels in the body may be caused or worsened by an excess of heavy metals due to soil contamination, a lack of minerals due to soil erosion, having a digestive disorder such as celiac disease or chronic diarrhea, having type 2 diabetes, being dependent upon alcohol, being elderly as magnesium absorption decreases with age, and taking certain medicines including diuretics and proton pump inhibitors that can cause magnesium loss. Symptoms of early magnesium deficiency can include constipation, fatigue, loss of appetite, and weakness, which can eventually lead to more severe complications. Some of these may be muscle contractions, seizures, low blood levels of calcium and potassium, abnormal heart rhythm, personality changes, and numbness in the limbs. Long-term untreated magnesium deficiency can result in high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and heart disease. Magnesium overdose and interactions. Overdosing on magnesium is really only possible if you're taking supplements that contain the mineral. Dietary sources of magnesium are highly unlikely to result in toxic levels accumulating in your body, as your kidneys can typically filter out any excess. Large doses of magnesium from dietary supplements or medications can cause diarrhea, nausea, and abdominal cramping. Diarrhea from magnesium happens because the unabsorbed salts in the intestine and colon stimulate gastric motility. In other words, magnesium makes things move pretty quickly through your intestinal tract. This is why magnesium is sometimes used to alleviate mild constipation. Magnesium carbonate, chloride, gluconate, and oxide are more likely to cause diarrhea. Early signs of excessive magnesium intake can include low blood pressure, facial flushing, depression, urine retention, and fatigue. Eventually, if untreated, these symptoms can worsen and include muscle weakness, difficulty breathing, irregular heartbeat, and even, in very rare cases, cardiac arrest. Extremely high doses can result in hypermagnesemia, or very high levels of magnesium in the bloodstream. Hypermagnesemia can become fatal, especially if your kidneys are not functioning optimally. Large doses of laxative and antacids that contain magnesium may be a contributing factor to magnesium toxicity, typically when they're providing over 5,000 milligrams of magnesium per day. Lastly, magnesium supplements can interact with certain medications. For instance, bisphosphonates used to slow or prevent bone loss, antibiotics for bacterial infections, diuretics to improve water loss, or proton pump inhibitors often prescribed for management of acid reflux. Interactions may include excessive loss of magnesium, formulation of insoluble complexes, and reduced efficacy of the medication. Recommended intake for magnesium supplements. How much dietary magnesium is too much? There isn't any known danger from eating too much magnesium from food, but there is a recommended upper intake level which clarifies the highest amount deemed safe to consume per day supplementally. Please note that this is in addition to your dietary magnesium. The recommended upper intake levels for magnesium supplementation are birth to 12 months, none established, 1 to 3 years, 65 milligrams, 4 to 8 years, 110, 9 to 18 years, including pregnant or lactating women, 350 milligrams, and 19 plus years, including pregnant or lactating women, 350 milligrams recommended as the upper limit for supplementation. Magnesium-rich foods. The best way to get magnesium in the right amount and in a form your body can recognize and absorb efficiently is through your diet. Some of the best sources of magnesium include nuts and seeds, especially almonds, cashews, and peanuts, technically a legume, including nut butters made from them, spinach, especially when boiled, plant-based milks, beans and legumes like black beans and edamame or soybeans, dark chocolate, especially when you choose types that are at least 70% cacao or cocoa solids, avocado, potatoes, whole grains, especially quinoa and whole wheat flour, tofu and tempeh, bananas, and cauliflower. There is little to no magnesium found in meat, eggs, or dairy products. You just listened to All About Magnesium, Health Benefits, Risks, and Magnesium-Rich Foods You Should Know About, Part 2 by Ocean Robbins at foodrevolution.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. Tune in tomorrow for the third and final part of this article, where you'll learn about magnesium absorption, whether you should take a magnesium supplement and the various types available, and magnesium-rich recipes. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.